Hello, my name is Willie Stevens.
And I'm Brandy Stevens, and welcome to
The Journey of Us.
The Journey of Us podcast, season 3, episode 2, where we talk about the truth of happiness in marriage. Are you happy
I am. Are
today?
you? Well, let me start off. Let me ask you the first question because it seems as if you're the host. I'm trying not to make you the host, so let me ask you the first question. Here.
Okay.
So when you hear the phrase "happily married," what comes to mind?
Today, what comes to mind is the couple is content, in love, and enjoying each other's presence. And just having a good time all the time. Not all the time, most of the time.
Well, when I think about happily marriage, well, first thing I think about is whether or not that is even real. Because I do know that, people say that all the time.
Yeah.
And I think when they're saying that, it's more of like the fairy tale. I'm happy. I'm going to be in love every day. He's never going to say anything that upsets me. He's never going to leave his shoes in the place that they shouldn't be. And I'm going to be the princess. And, that's what people think when they think of happily marriage, being happily married. But I don't think that is real.
Yeah. What did you think before you got married? I know this is what you think now, but what did you think before we got married? Or before you got married?
Well, I guess I don't know that I even thought about being happily married.
Huh.
I just thought about being married.
Okay.
And I knew the things that came with it. I didn't know about them in depth, but I did know that there's going to be hard times, there's going to be laughter, and there's going to be all of that. But I just never thought that I was searching after happiness.
Yeah. I think that when we first got married, I did think that we would be happy. And the idea of that for me was just enjoying each other's company. But I knew, like you, because this is my second marriage. So I knew things would be hard. And I knew that I wouldn't be necessarily happy per se all day, every day. But I do think that sometimes people get into it and think that you're going to be happy per se all the time. And I guess for me, it's more so about being content and being okay in whatever season that you're in and accepting where we are. Yeah.
So did you feel that same way in your first marriage when you first went into it? Of course, now that it's going, that happiness in marriage, what the difference is. But how did you feel when you first got married?
No, baby, I was so young.
Yeah. How young were you?
So I was 20.
Okay.
When I first got married to my ex-husband. And honestly, I don't even think I was in love, infatuated, and I just assumed that, we would be together every day and just be happy.
Yeah.
I felt like sunshines and rainbows, but it was not sunshine and rainbows every day. And as we progressed in our marriage over those couple of years, I came to realize that no, I would not be happy
all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Then we did have happy moments.
Yeah.
I will say that where we, got to made some good friendships and enjoyed each other's company. And of course, I got pregnant and we had our son. But there were happy moments, but I was not happy all the time. And I'm sure he wasn't either.
Yeah. Well, did you think that marriage would actually make you happy? This episode is brought to you by the Stevens Injury Law Firm. If you've been injured in an accident, you don't have to handle it alone. The Stevens Injury Law Firm is here to protect your rights and help you get the compensation you deserve. If you've been injured, contact the Stevens Injury Law Firm today.
Then
Yes.
I think that I thought that. I thought that being married would solve. Oh, I thought that being married would solve a lot of my problems.
Yeah.
At that point in my life, I was young, and honestly, I was just ready to get out of my mother's house
Yeah.
and wanted to be on my own. And I felt like that this was
The avenue.
the avenue to get me what I wanted, but it was a quick realization that no. And so, yeah, I thought that it would. It's like solve all my problems and make me happy. Yes, I did.
Well, I never thought that marriage would, well, I don't want to say I never thought it, but I'm not one to think that one decision is going to change my life.
Yeah. But it can, no?
Yeah, it can. I'm saying as far as happiness goes.
Yeah.
And so I didn't approach it that way. I just knew that I wanted to be married to somebody that I felt as if I trusted and that I actually loved.
Yeah.
And I got married for that reason, not necessarily because of I was looking for something or someone to fill a void.
Yeah. And I think that's the case a lot of times.
Yes. I know it's a lot, case a lot of the times because I know that when people start talking about, after they've been married for 45 days and they're talking about, the difficulties that they're dealing with,
Yeah.
it's an indicator to me that there was some unrealistic expectations going into it. And they
Yeah.
thought that this was going to solve their problems because a lot of it is about, I guess, how can this particular relationship take me to the next level? Or how could this relationship take me out of my mama's house? Because I've actually had a young lady that asked me that one time, when are you going to take me out of my mama's house?
Okay.
I'm thinking, never, I was not that type. I wasn't looking to save anybody,
Yeah.
especially when you're young, you're in college, you're making bad decisions, you're trying to, to figure out what you want. And then for, somebody to want you to be that person that makes them happy
Yeah.
and solve their problems for them, I just wasn't looking for that at
It's
the
a
time.
huge responsibility.
It is.
To put on somebody else. Did you ever question, like, is this what this supposed to feel like?
Yes. During the difficult times.
Yeah.
And I didn't know that. I thought I was supposed to be. I guess I wasn't doing it to be happy, but I thought I was going to be happy along the way. I didn't think it was going to be that difficult. And I think the difficulty came up when there was a lack. And when there was a lack of money, lack of finances, everything else blows up.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't expecting that amount of difficulty. And I felt as if I wasn't sure that I went into this with my eyes open.
Yeah.
I was delusional, I think.
Okay. Did you ever feel guilty for not feeling happy?
I don't think that I felt guilty. I think it was more so I just didn't know what I was getting into.
Yeah.
And so I think it was more about me going through this process to get the experience to know really what marriage really is.
Yeah.
But no, I don't think I felt guilty because who would I feel guilty to?
Guess yourself. I
Yeah.
don't know.
What about you?
I don't think I felt guilty, but more so kind of like, is it supposed to be like this? I guess the expectation of it all. And honestly, I mean, like after having the first marriage and then, we went through the marriage counseling and talking to people who have been married for a very long time, I had the expectation. I knew that it wouldn't be sunshine and rainbows all the time. But I guess I didn't know what that would look like for us.
Yeah.
And see, that's the thing too, when you're talking to other people who are in other marriages, their experiences look different than yours.
Yeah.
And so I didn't know exactly what to expect with us either.
And I've come to the realization after we've been married for over 17 years that people are going to tell you what they want to.
That is so true.
They're going to give you this idea of what they feel as if should have happened versus what actually happened in their marriage.
Yeah, they're not
It's-
getting to the nitty gritty.
Yeah. And so you're trying to fashion a relationship or a marriage after something that's not even real. And you look at their marriage as a success. However, you don't really know their marriage.
Right.
You don't know that she forgave him.
Right.
You don't know that he forgave her.
Right. Right.
All you know is that they've been married for 50 years.
That's it.
Yeah,
And they got some kids.
exactly.
And they got some money.
Uh-huh. Yep. But you don't know that granddad also has another family.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
especially in our community, a lot of times people don't tell you that part of it.
Yeah.
Those are your cousins, but they're really your brothers and your sisters.
Yeah.
And so, it's very difficult when we as a community don't really talk and tell the real experiences that we've had.
Why is that, you think, that we don't talk about the real experience? But I guess it kind of goes back to what goes in our house stays in
Yeah.
our house, you know?
Yeah.
And so maybe that's why we don't talk as much, or it may just be to cover the other person, or maybe pride, but I think it's beneficial in the right time to express that and kind of tell like what really went on.
Yeah. Because you can be dating your cousins.
Yeah.
And you have no idea because, your grandfather was a Rolling Stone, as they say,
Yeah.
And so I just know that it's very difficult when you're trying to draw a picture or paint this picture of what a successful relationship or a successful marriage is when you don't really know what really happened
Yeah.
and how they get to be where they are. How many times he didn't come home?
Yeah.
And how many times that, she cut him? You don't know. You don't
I
know.
cut him.
You don't know.
Right.
So
Right.
ultimately, that's what I'm saying. You don't know what really happened, and so it's hard for you to then try to mimic something that's not real.
That's true. When you don't have the full picture. That is
Exactly.
so true. You don't have the how. You don't. And so that's the thing too. Like, you don't have the same history and, components that they have. And so you're right. It is hard to kind of mimic what you see on paper or on social media.
Yeah. Because especially like right now, nowadays, people, they swear, "Oh, no, I'm not going to deal with that. Oh, I'll get rid of him and get somebody else."
Yeah.
But grandmama, she dealt with it,
Yeah.
and she felt that he was worth forgiving. But you cannot fashion a life based on grandma's decisions because you're not grandma. You're not going to make those same decisions.
Yeah.
Grandma cooked too. You don't cook, and so he may have come home because grandma cooked too. And so it's just, I'm saying all this just to say, it's unrealistic to try and mimic another person's relationship, especially when you don't know what happened.
Yeah. That's so true. And especially when you talk about mimicking relationships, of course, when we first got married, we weren't big into social media. I only got on social media for business purposes. But so early on, we really didn't have that component. But now everything's online.
Yeah.
From your business personality to your marriage, and you see all these people they see us going on these trips.
Yeah.
And, smiling on the selfies. So I guess it can be hard to, quote unquote, live up to the highlight reel.
Yes. Because
Per
that's
se.
all it is. Those
It
are
is a-
snapshots.
Yes.
Because, people don't know that, we've had our disagreements and not necessarily an argument, but disagreements and frustration, being upset with one another right before we start taking pictures.
Yeah.
And so, you see us in Jamaica,
Yeah.
but you don't see the bus ride when we were going on our excursion.
And
You know?
I'm mad because you just said something crazy.
Yeah, yeah. So it's just it's just difficult to try to be something when you don't know whether or not that's even real.
Yeah. Because you're right. There have been times where we've been on vacation
Mm-hmm.
and, have to work things out.
Yeah.
Because in the moment, we've had, a disagreement or, just frustration on what we're going to eat or whatever the case may be. We've had that and had to, still go on and take the picture, do the video. But I think it's just understanding that when you're in that moment, go ahead and don't, like we talked about in the past, go ahead and apologize. Go ahead and, do what you need to do to kind of make it right in the moment. Because the reality is you're not going to be happy all the time.
Yeah.
It's not selfies and, kissing and hugging all the time.
Yeah.
This episode is brought to you by Tributed Salon, where we help everyone embrace and enjoy their hair. At Tributed Salon, we specialize in nurturing your natural hair with care and expertise. Schedule your next appointment and experience the Tributed difference. Do you think that, and I think we've kind of seen this a little bit, do you think that people, or we should show more of the not so happy moments? How do you feel about that?
You talking about us particular or just people in general?
However you want to answer it.
Well, I think people should show. I think people should show the complete picture. But honestly, I don't want to see people arguing on social media.
Yeah.
I don't want to see the fights that that people post on social media. And so I think it's more so about me talking to people and giving them the whole story versus me posting about what I'm going through, because I don't like to see that type of stuff. I don't want to see us, not necessarily us, but people that look like us fighting in the Waffle House. I don't want to see that and stuff. So, I think it's important that we have things like podcasts or family reunions or different things like that. So we will have those avenues to let the next generation understand that this is really what it is. This is that raw, uncut marriage. These are the difficult things we went through. Your father was a crackhead. Well, I didn't tell you, but he was.
Yeah.
And, and I want to be able to have that information, because if I fall short, I want to understand, okay, well, I can make it back too, because my dad had made it back. So to you, what does it mean to be happily married today?
I think today being happily married means, I guess I would say be okay in every season. And holding on to the happy moments. And just the acceptance that I can be happy overall, but I may not be happy every day.
Yeah.
So I think it's more so happiness overall, but not necessarily the expectation that each day of my life it's going to be like great every day.
Yeah,
but that's
smiling.
that's unrealistic every day. So happiness overall, I think is
So
my
it's
answer.
more like a balancing test.
Yes.
The good outweighs the bad here.
Yes.
And the other person, I guess for me, it's more so the marriage is worth it.
Yeah.
That's how I feel when I look at happiness. I don't think that that's realistic to, I guess, other people's definition of a happy marriage. I don't think that is realistic. But I do feel as if, when the good outweighs the bad, when the person makes you want to stay, makes you want to be better, I consider that is happiness in me.
Okay.
As far as marriage goes to me.
Yeah. Do you think that it is your spouse's responsibility to make you happy or to keep you happy?
No, of course not. I don't believe that, because I don't half the time know how to keep me happy. So how can I expect you to know how to keep me happy? Because happiness for me changes. Sometimes happiness is me sitting in the room and playing a video game.
Yeah.
And sometimes happiness is me working, me grinding, me building something, me stretching, me hurting. Sometimes it's happiness.
Really?
Yes, because when you're hurt for the right reason,
Okay.
that can make you happy.
Okay.
And so that type of thing, I guess the duality associated with that is sometimes makes you feel schizophrenic. And so I can't expect you to know those type of things. And so if I can't do it for me all the time, I refuse to hold you to a higher level than I hold me.
Have you always thought that, Joe?
Yes.
Yeah.
I've never felt as if another person, I don't want to give another person that much power.
Yeah.
So what about you?
So, and I've said this before, like, I do feel like in a lot of areas, like, you have always been like leaps and bounds ahead of me, because I didn't always feel that way. And I don't think that I felt like you were supposed to make me happy, but I did hold you responsible in some areas, whether it was looking for a
Valentine's
compliment.
Day.
Yes.
Okay.
Looking for a compliment, or looking for a Valentine's Day gift,
Yeah.
or looking for you to do certain things. So I did think I held you responsible at one point early on in our marriage, up until, I would say, to be honest, this is hard.
Uh-oh.
The last few years, I've done a lot of growing. I would say within the last 3 years or so, I've learned and kind of taken that responsibility on myself. That no, it's not your responsibility to make me happy. But I kind of held you responsible for some of that. But like you, I've grown and I realized that no, nobody can make me happy but me.
Yeah.
And it's not your responsibility to do that. And I can't expect for you. That's unrealistic for me to do that. And it's not fair either. So yes, I will say I did, but I've grown. Thank you for watching episode 2, where we talked about the truth in happiness in marriage. Be sure to like and subscribe.
And stay tuned for our next episode where we're going to discuss gender roles.
So we'll see you next time on The Journey of Us.